we start the story off on a nice Sunday evening when Izuka and her sister Eri, Chisaki, wake up from their sleep and walk downstairs, and their mother greets them and says, "Hello, Eri," and Eri says, "Hi, Mom," as Eri quickly runs to hug her mother, and Izuka's like, "Hey, Eri, why are your hands glowing?" As when she's hugging her mother, she says, "What did you say, Izuka?" As her mother quickly isn't there. As Izuka's like, "Where'd Mom go?" As their father comes in and says, "Eri, where'd your mother go?" I saw that. Where'd she go? I saw her shrinking. What happened here? As Izuka's like, "I don't know. I just saw Mom disappear and Eri was hugging her." As her hands were they were glowing. As the father says, "Oh, Eri, come with me. Don't touch me. Just come with me." As he quickly goes to call the quirk doctor and tells him to get here immediately. As the quirk doctor is like, "Oh, okay, I'm on my way." As the quirk doctor starts driving over to their house, as Izuka starts having a mental breakdown as she just saw her mother die. As Eri quickly goes to hug her father and says, "I don't know what's happening, Dad." As he says, "Eri, no!" As quickly he dies. He is rewound until he wasn't born, which he's dead now. As Izuka's like, "Eri, turn your quirk off, please. It's your horn. It's glowing." As Eri's like, "I have a horn?" "What's happening, Izuka? I'm scared." As Izuka's like, "Calm down, Eri. Just stay on the couch. I'll keep at my distance. Just don't come here touching me. Your quirk is too dangerous." As Eri starts crying, as Izuka's like, "We just have to wait for the quirk doctor to get here." As with tears swelling up in Izuka's eyes, she hears the doorbell ring as she immediately runs over there. And with Eri on the couch, Izuka quickly rushes the doctor to her and says, Doctor, she just vanished. Our parents. What's her quirk? It's very dangerous." As the quirk doctor's like, "Oh, what? Okay, I understand." As he looks to Eri's quirk and thinks, okay, what could have happened here? As Izuka says, "She was hugging our mother and she slowly began shrinking. And she was kind of growing younger." As she starts stuttering too. And then Father came over and he went to call you. And when the call was happening, he hung up and Eri hugged him and he also disappeared. As the quirk doctor was like, "I understand, child. So it seems your sister's quirk seems to be a rewind quirk. As it's very dangerous. You need to go. I'll call the cops. They can get you into a very helpful place for where you are right now, or maybe even your aunt or uncle if you have any." As the quirk doctor goes over to the phone where the father was, only to see a t-shirt, pants, and everything else. As the quirk doctor swallows and says, "Oh my, what have I walked into?" As Izuka looks over to Eri, whose horn has stopped glowing with a yellow light, and says, "Eri, what happened?" As Eri's like, "I don't know, Izuka. I hope I can bring Mommy back and Dad." As Izuka looks over to Eri and says, "Oh, what happened? What happened indeed?" As the quirk doctor says, "Oh, okay. It's worth that much?" So you're saying a quirk that rare can pay up to 1 billion yen? Oh my. Yeah. See you in a bit. As instead of the police, he got off the phone with his friend as the quirk doctor says, Eri, come with me, please. The police will be here any moment. As Eri's like, I don't want to. As the quirk doctor's like, come here. As he starts getting aggressive towards them, and Izuka says, I won't let you touch her, as she uses her quirk, as 2 horns spread out of her head, just like Aries, except there were 2, and they start glowing with a white aura, along with but right next to her eyes, all around. As 10 of Izuka begin appearing around the man, and all of them touch him, and pieces of him start just falling off. First, part of his finger, and eventually all of him, as Izuka had awakened her 2 quirks. One was cloning, kind of like multi-shadow clone jutsu in Naruto. The more clones she summons, the weaker they get, obviously. And her second quirk, disintegration. If she touches somebody, pieces of them will start coming off. Kind of like Shigaraki's quirk, except a lot more potent at a younger age. It's easier to control at the start. Yeah, that seems about it. So, Izuka, who is now wandering the streets with her sister Eri, quickly finds her way to their grandparents' house. Well, their grandparent. They arrive at a very dark alleyway, and where they see a little shop, and they go in, and one of the men greets them like, oh, hello, young priestesses, why are you 2 here? As the man's like, oh, let me go tell the Lord. As Izuka's like, I forgot how weird this place was, Eri. Stay close. As Izuka, having 1 horn up to try and intimidate them, but her quirk wasn't active. As she looks over to Eri, and they start tearing up as their grandfather arrives and says, what happened to you 2? Why are you 2 here? Where is your mother and father? As Izuka starts crying and says, they're gone. As their grandfather just shocks, like, what? Okay. You 2 can stay with me for as long as you want, I promise. We'll get this situation sorted out. As he thinks to himself, okay, maybe not the best with my plans, knowing that he was the current leader of the Chiya Zaikai. Izuka, not knowing their grandfather was a crime boss, looks over to their grandfather and says, so where will we be staying? As their grandfather quickly leads them on into a room where a man was waiting. And it's 3 bedrooms. And a kid looks over to them and says, oh, hello. As the kid introduces his name and says, hi, my name's Kai Chisaki. Hello. What's your name? Right. Hello, brother and sister. As Izuka's like, we don't remember having a brother. As Izuka questions him on it and says, oh, don't worry, that's just what we call each other here. Well, what's the 2 of you two's quirk? Well, I mean, maybe you've manifested it by now, but what's it? As Eri says, my quirk is rewind, right? As Izuka's like, yeah, it is. Good job, Eri. As Izuka says, her quirk's rewind. She can rewind people. forward and backwards. Very far backwards. And my quirk is cloning and disintegration. I have 2. When our quirks are active, horns will sprout from our heads, without any pain, of course, and they'll start glowing. With mine, my eyes also start to glow around them. As Kai smiles and says, "Will that be all?" As Izuku's like, "Yes, mister." As their grandfather is trying to sort out all this entire situation, which had been very, very bad for them. As he starts making phone calls, trying to contact their mother or father. So yeah, that's how that works out. Okay, everybody. This is where we'll be ending our part 1 of What If Deku, and was what if this is Healer Deku, guys. No, it's not. Just kidding. What if Deku was the sister of Eri, basically. So yeah, that's where I'll be leaving off, everybody. This is Obito signing off. Bye-bye.